be alone. But now I'm scared, that's how I like to be. All these faces, none the same. How can there be so many personalities, so many lives?
Light me up instead. Fill me with power and change me, make me wonderful. I am the moonflower and bathe me in the fountain of youth. Full of frustration, I just want the truth and give me a feather. I'll try to change the weather and now we're together.
So everyone's practice is different, so each person's shopping list is going to be different. But I'll let you know a few of the things that I have in my practice that are must-haves. A bell for sound cleansing. It can either be a sound bowl like this, or if that's a little suspicious, just a regular bell. Incense or a wax warmer to get that good energy scent flowing. Black salt for protection. A nice journal to keep all of your notes down from all your research that you're doing. This is mine, but it doesn't have to be this fancy. It can be a composition book. Candles, like a lot of them. Any herbs that you want to use in your practice, you can even pre-mix them for spells that you do very often. You don't have to, but I use crystals a lot. Like a lot of them. Little cups that I use for offerings. A mortar and pestle for smashing things, and a cast iron cauldron for burning things. And infused oils, great for so many things. There's so many other things, but those are the must-haves.
A glance into me personal very messy grimoire.
Maybe it's time to say goodbye, 'cause I'm getting pretty fucking tired.
Okay, so for witches out there that use sigils, this is a great tip for you. So I cannot claim credit for this. I saw another creator do this, Guardian Moon Creations, and she actually sells really cool ones on her website, so go check it out. This saves me so much time making my sigils. This is a picture frame that I got at the dollar store, for $1 obviously, and a dry erase marker. So I'll just write my petition up here. We'll do money because it's fast and easy. And we just mark it out here. You can mess around with it if you want to. And we have our final sigil here. And you can put this in a notebook, and then when you're done, just erase it and start over. No more wasting paper. And then you have more time to hang out with this one.
So I spoke in a previous video about how you don't need crystals or maybe expensive or fancy tools to be good at your craft and to improve. And there are obviously things that you might need in order to help you do whatever you're doing, if it's spell work, for example, like herbs. So I just wanted to share my ways that I get sort of inexpensive tools and things like that. For smoke cleansing, incense is amazing. Incense can be so cheap, like just £1. So I recommend that for cleansing. Just get herbs from the shop. Like if you have like a Poundland shop, you can get cheap herbs from there. Or one thing I like to do is buy a bunch of flowers if I need dried flowers and dry them myself. For example, if you want a wand, you can make one yourself. Go out into the forest and maybe find some wood. Obviously ask for permission before you take, but that's also a good way of making things yourself. Literally just look around you, there's so many cheap alternatives that you can use.
Hey, it's High Priestess Isidore, and today I'm going to be showing everyone how to make a very simple Happy Home spell jar. You won't need anything too big, something about this size will do just fine. Crystal-wise, all you need is one crystal, preferably carnelian or citron, your choice. I went with this because this is the carnelian piece that I gave to my aunt before she passed away, and since I'm living here, it only felt right. We're going with lemon peels, orange peels, dandelion leaf, basil, rosemary back there, and some raw and unfiltered local honey. A pinch of each will do. Some people like to fill them to the top, but personally I prefer saving herbs so that I can use them more often. Time to place the crystal. And light.
You know it's just like me, who cuss like me, who just don't give a fuck like me, who dress like me, walk, talk, and act like me, and just might be the next best thing, but not quite me. I'm Slim Shady, yes I'm the real Shady, all you other Slim Shadys are just...
Tarot tricks with High Priestess Isidore. I'm going to give you 5 tips that I use personally. The first is asking your deity or a guide for clarification. Obviously, if you're a secular practitioner, you won't need this tip, but I find it really helpful for people who do have deities or guides to have a little bit of extra guidance. Number 2 is connect with your deck by holding and shuffling it. You don't necessarily always have to ask questions. Simply putting your energy into it and shuffling it sometimes can help you bond with it just as much. 3, when you're shuffling, sometimes close your eyes and ask yourselves, like, what colors, what symbols, what imagery comes to you, because that can play into a large part of your reading and intuition. And then 4th trick is write down your readings. I do this every single night. In fact, I actually have like multiple journals filled to the brim, from where every single night I do a spread for myself. And not only does that help me remember and notice trends, but it also allows me to reflect on those readings later. And last, and probably the most important, would be pay attention to your emotions and how things make you feel when you're doing your reading. And I feel like it's worth noting that strength just jumped out of my deck. So with that being said, those are 5 great tarot tricks that hopefully will make tarot reading a little bit easier for you. So, love you guys.
Days pull you down just like a sinking ship. Floating is getting harder, but tread the water, child, and know that meanwhile rises the moon. Days pull you up just like a daffodil, uprooted from its
Now that I got a taste, I think that I'd suffocate for every second that you aren't by my side. But now I'm stuck at the gate, a Lucifer's estate. I fell in love with a girl I met in hell, thinking about all the things, the way you pull my strings. I love the way you turn me on. I ain't Hades, but I'm the king. I'd do anything so that I could take you home. She drove me crazy, yeah. She drove me crazy, yeah. She drove me crazy, yeah. She drove me crazy.
Quick witch tip. If you have someone in your home that you don't want in your house anymore, but maybe you can't be up front, maybe you've got some guests over that are overstaying their welcome. My papa taught me this. It's not part of a closed practice, although he is a Haitian man that just had no time for people that he didn't like in his home. Grab your broom. Actually leave it wherever it's at, a broom closet, behind your fridge, that's where mine is. Turn it upside down. It will get rid of them so fast. I don't understand it. It's just that Haitian good, so get rid of them.
wicked witchcraft. And although I know it's strictly taboo, when you arouse the need in me, my heart says yes indeed in me. Proceed with
what every new witch needs to start their practice. Tea light candles. Salt. Rosemary, because it can replace just about every herb. Clear quartz. A pendulum. Notebooks and pens or pencils. A tarot deck preferably, or an oracle deck. And most importantly is your own intuition.
Alright, Witch Talk, you're going to hate me for this next one, but before you can do any cleansing, do any protection spells, do anything, you're going to have to clean your house or your room if you're a child. I'm sorry, I know. But you need some feng shui to your house. And the best way I know how to describe this is if a whole bunch of water were to flow through your house, through the bottom of the floor, would it flow nicely or would it get obstructed by a whole bunch of little things? Okay, so if so, then you need to go clean up the floor and get some feng shui, because that is how the energy is going to flow in your house, and you want it to have a nice flow. Okay, so before you can go through with a sage stick or anything and start cleansing, you have to clean your house first. Simply because negative energy can hide in dust, in cobwebs, in any kind of dirt like that. Okay, so you have to go through, you have to clean your house first, and then you have to cleanse it. Sorry. What are you waiting for? Go clean your house. Come back to me later.
Witchcraft rituals are called workings because witchery is a craft, it's a work of art. And when you work with a spirit or demon or deity, you are asking or sometimes demanding their help and assistance.
Easy protection spell for beginners. Cleanse. Salt. Chamomile. Himalayan salt. Eggshells. Bay leaves. Seal with a white candle. Finished.
All my witch TikTokers, can somebody please explain to me what these are? Because I ordered a mystery box and I don't quite understand this yet. I'm still a beginner learning everything. Please help.
What do crystals actually do? Most crystals illuminate and enhance vibrations that you are already putting off. Crystals can also attract energies to you. So let's say you have a crystal like opalite. Opalite works with the throat chakra, which helps you express hidden feelings. Now, when you buy a crystal such as opalite, and you're not already putting in the work every day to try and express your hidden feelings, opalite is going to attract conversations that might be challenging. Crystals are all about self-improvement. Crystals work positively with you if you are already on the path to self-growth and doing your self-work. If you remain unconscious but still think that these crystals are somehow going to do the work for you, you might actually face more challenges in your life because the crystals will continue to attract energies to help you heal.
Money is the anthem of success, so before we go out, what's your address? I'm your national anthem, God just a ransom. Take me to the Hamptons, Bugatti Veyron. He loves to romance them, reckless abandon, holding me for ransom, upper echelon. He says to be cool, but I don't know how yet. Wind in my hair, hand on the back of my neck. I said, can we party later on? He said, yes, yes, yes. Tell me.
Here are some things in nature that I like to use in my spell work. I love it when trees peel like this because I'll take this and I'll use it and write a sigil on it. It's a good replacement for paper. Find a stick out in nature that you're drawn to and use this as a wand for casting circles. Don't forget to hug a tree if you take from it. Pick some mushrooms and put them in a spell jar to resemble rebirth. I also love collecting acorns and using them in spells to represent abundance and growth. Anything you find that's green can be used to call in prosperity. Keep in mind the birds and the animals that you see. They're probably your spirit totems and are going to help you on this spell. Look up their symbolism. Thorns to call in Christ, my ascended master. Berries for peace and passion. I really love finding animal fur and animal bones too.
You don't have to do anything, but this is just my suggestion. You get really familiar with the major and minor arcana meanings, just so you kind of have an idea of what are the things the decks could be telling you, how the deck usually communicates, things like that. Here's some other really good tarot book recommendations. Austin needs to release a second edition of this, but it's a must read. And there's a couple different translations of this one, all of which are pretty good, but it's a little more advanced. But if you find an Ouroboros Press version, I will sell my soul for it, thank you. And then my other piece of advice is to just trust yourself, trust your intuition, do what feels right to you, and you'll have the best tarot experience that you can.
This is a part 2 on me talking about cheap alternatives to tools you might need in your craft, whether it's spiritual or witchcraft. If you're good at gardening, you can get seeds for really cheap, so you can grow your own herbs and you can have a limitless supply of them. If someone gifts you something like I said in my previous video, flowers, dry them yourself when they're dying, or if they give you packaging for a gift, you can reuse that in many different ways. If you're making little protection bags, sometimes you can use whatever has been gifted to you to make like a little bag. So like, for example, you could turn tissue paper into a bag and just make it a little pouch and tie it. If you need, for example, twine, but maybe you can't afford it and you have a sewing kit in your house, you can use the threads from that to tie things, or, I don't know, sew sigils into clothing. I'll make a part 3 on this if people are interested, so comment if you are.
If you're feeling stuck or delayed in your life, find the Hanged Man in your deck. If it's upright, you've got some sacrifices that you need to make. If it's reversed, you know about the sacrifices that you need to make, but you're fucking avoiding it. The card in front of the Hanged Man is going to tell you how to deal with the problems, and the card behind the Hanged Man is going to tell you what you need to let go and what you need to sacrifice.
With the snare and the bass, square in the face, this fucking world better prepare to get laced because they're gonna take my.
This depends on the specifics of the card, but generally if you ask your deck a yes or no question and you get a wands, it's yes, but you have to put action towards it to get what you want. Cups is yes, but good things take time. Pentacles is yes, but things come with a price. And swords is just no. And then major arcana cards are like, LOL, good luck.
I'm going to teach you how to actually start practicing witchcraft right now. All you need is something to take notes with. Okay, now make a list of things found in nature that make you just go, ooh, or that you just feel connected to or drawn to in some way. Here's the one that I did for myself this morning. Try to engage all 5 of your senses when you're making this list as well. And feel free to pause this and use mine as inspiration if you'd like. Now go ahead and circle a handful that just really stand out to you. Now take those things that stood out to you and write down the first feelings that come to mind when you think about them. Okay, congratulations. Not only have you figured out what your favorite tools are, but you have figured out what their associations are for you and how you personally should use them. Okay, come back for part 2 and I'll teach you what you can do with this information.
All right, y'all, let's go. Come get witchy with me. We're gonna wash our sheets the witch's way. First, strip your bed. Don't forget your pillowcases. Remove crystals for cleansing too. Also remove charm bags. Put your wash on hot water. Add your laundry. Take your leftover banishing floor wash and pour it directly into your wash. Then add your detergent. Then we'll come back for a second rinse. Now we're going to make a blend to induce restful sleep and to help prevent nightmares. Don't forget a little wormwood to relieve exhaustion. Bring 1 quart of water to a boil. Once water has come to a boil, add your herbs. Stirring clockwise, speak your intentions out loud. Leave the herbs to simmer for 20 minutes. Strain the herbs. Set your washer to rinse. Now pour in your herbal sleep blend. Refrigerate the rest, and voila!
book list for Witchcraft. Because of the length of my book list, I decided to subscribe to a monthly subscription called Scribed. The first book I would recommend is Weave the Liminal, Living Modern Traditional Witchcraft. This book helped me personalize my own witchcraft practice, and oftentimes I still find myself going back to my notes. Currently I'm reading The Little Work, which focuses on our inner alchemy, and I've been really enjoying it so far. And that's just a little preview of some books on my list.
Manic sister thinks I'm cracking, brother says it's in my genes. Don't you want to? Don't you want to be? Don't you want to? Bang, 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 bang.
Will I be on love? It's that move that I just want to sober up. Has it been long enough? Will I be on love? Will I closer, closer love?
I see the crystal raindrops fall and the beauty of it all when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind when I think of you sometime, and I want to spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try, just the two of us. Just the two of us, building castles in the sky. Just the two of us, you and I.
Protect your home, your spell work, your environment with eggshells. Eggshells are a kitchen witch tool to protect themselves and spells, their home, their environment, and even themselves. Its frequency holds high in protection because this has helped birth life. Get a mortar and pestle. Make sure you rinse off your eggs, it could get kind of dirty. And just crush them up. And hold the intention as you're crushing them up for protection. Set the intention that you want these to protect your space. If these are your typical store-bought eggs, I recommend going widdershins or counterclockwise to get off the negative energy. And then stir dicel or clockwise in order to bring abundance and prosperity to your protection eggs. You can grind them super thin into a powder like this and pack them in, or the eggshells can be a little bit thicker, whatever your preference is. As an example, I like to put eggshells around my altar.
Smoke and mirrors has been common in witchcraft, but what do you do when you can't burn? Because you have tiny little babies that need protecting? You make a smokeless jar. This one is for protection, and here I'm using my Null and Void herb blend. You can find it on my Etsy store for $10. I'm adding rock salt and pink Himalayan salt for some clearing and protection, and a little bit of rose too for some love. The lavender goes in for protection and happiness. And on a bay leaf, you write your intentions of what you want this jar to do. On mine, I wrote happiness, because that's always something good to keep around. You mix it up and load it into the jar that you intend to put it in. Making a mess is optional. You load in your bay leaf, a stick of selenite, some amethyst, and there you go. You have a jar that's not just all.
These are wishing trees. Wishing trees are shaped like a Y, and you jump through it and you make your wish. Wishing trees are just another way to incorporate manifestation in your hiking adventures.
These are my witchcraft room that just makes sense. A book of shadows, crystal friends, cauldrons, an apothecary.
My mom decided to garden in the exact spot I buried the crystal that I found on my car. Am literally watching her in fear. Crystal hunting with Bestie. Deer. Cleared quartz. Cleared quartz. Cleared quartz. Maybe smoking cars. Normal stone, I guess. Smoking quartz, I don't know. Red aventurine.
Let me show you right now before you give it up.
Hey, can you open this for me? Yeah. Here you go. Well, I was gonna put offerings to a war goddess in here, but I guess I just...
Bongo la, bongo cha cha cha.
Nobody, 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 nobody.
Testing an old witch trick to see if you're cursed. Start off by putting 2 matches into water. If the sticks form a T, someone has tried to hex you. If they form a X, someone has hexed you. Why are they watching me?
It is, bitch. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am rich, I am that bitch. I am gonna go get that bag, and I am not gonna take your
Oh,